we are finally doing it. We're getting a video uploaded, but as I was editing this video, I realized how bad I am at recording for YouTube. So this video that I'm doing right now, obviously the format's gonna change from here on forward as I get used to this, but I forgot a lot of things when I was recording the manual swap in this car. It was over a couple of weeks because I can't just crank on this all the time. I have other customer cars I need to get to. But so I am going to be jumping in right now in the present, filling in a few gaps that I noticed in the editing when I was trying to make this video that I didn't address when I was building the car. And so that's what you're going to hear right now. I started this video like 3 times because I was going to make it 3 different videos, and I decided to make it 1. And so yeah, appreciate you clicking on it. We're going to go back in time about 3 weeks now. 3 weeks to a month when I first started the manual swap, getting this thing all dialed in. And yeah, well, let's go there now. As of right now, we got the purple vet in the back lift, and this is what I've been waiting for to really get started on tearing this thing down and getting it ready for my project, because I actually do work on a lot of customer cars out of this, and taking up this front lift all the time with my cars is really just not something I can do. And so now that we have both lifts, I can put more long-term cars in the back and still kind of move cars in and out. I know I have mine parked right here now, but it's just easy to park it here. But so let's go ahead, and I was gonna see if I can get this thing running enough to kind of take it and get it through gears and stuff like that. But as you saw, it's just not working out. So let's just tear this thing down. Let's get the 6-speed out of it. Let's see what we need, and let's get ready to put it behind my motor and have some fun with it. So as you can see, still just leaking oil. And this is the main reason why I'm just not dealing with this car, is the amount of oil that it is leaking and just the amount of problems it's having. It's gonna be easier for me just to tear it down, start fresh. I love this chassis. The purple is amazing. I do want to paint match the bumpers because those are like a deep black, but the purple's amazing. Fix the clear coat on it, and I want this to be my dedicated race car. I think this is what I'm going to end up mocking up the twin turbo build in and all that, but I need a chassis for that. So let's go ahead and get this thing torn down. Manual's going to go in that car right there. No, it is excited. So first thing I got to do is get this Borla exhaust out. That's going to get sold because, what is it, like a 2-inch exhaust? We only deal with custom exhausts around here. So I'll get that out. Let's get everything coming out for the transmission. Drop this transmission out. Drive shaft and rear diff are all coming out. This is the Dana 44, so that's gonna go in my car. Everything else is pretty much just getting sold off, and then the chassis staying with me, because I mean, it's just beautiful, right? So let's go ahead and get that started. Okay, so in that time lapse, obviously, exhaust is off. We went ahead and we unbolted the C-brace. That's out. Drive shaft is out. So unplugged some of the things. I haven't touched any of the bell housing bolts yet, because I think what I'm going to do here is pull this front half first, separate it from the actual flywheel case, and then pull this. This is a transmission. And then pull that off, make it a lot easier. But right now I have to go up to the top of the car and remove the boot and all that, remove the shifter. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Should be good to go after that. A few more bolts down here, and this transmission should slide right out. And then once the transmission slides back and down, we'll be able to pull this brace out. Okay, got everything ripped out of here. Should be good to go out the bottom now. I forgot how bad this manual trans fluid smells. It's horrible, but this cabin's starting to fill with it. But let's go down and pull the transmission out the bottom, and it should be good to go. Okay, and now we have the whole transmission out. It is a magnesium bell housing. I'm not sure if that's what they come with stock or not. I'll have to look into that. But this thing is free, except for I need to get this Allen key out so I can get the throwout bearing out and just like detach so I can get it all out. I just don't have that Allen key. I need to go get it real quick. So we'll go get that. The rest of this will come out. The transmission looks really nice. I think it's from 89. I think that's what that serial number, parts list number, the last 2 digits mean. But other than that, it's not too bad. Ratios 264 to 0.49, perfect. It felt great in the car, so obviously probably want to put a new boot on it. Boot's looking pretty worn out on it, but it's not too hard to get. Everything else looks great. Get the bell housing out. I'll see how the clutch looks, if it's upgraded or not. I am going to put an upgraded clutch because I am pushing quite a bit more power than stock. So get all that. I'm going to run and grab tools I need to finish this, and then we'll take a look. Okay, I went to 3 different parts stores, and I could not find the right size Allen keys. It's huge. I believe it's a 7/8. Not 7/8, just under a half, like 7/16 or something like that. But so in my stroke of genius, I was like, well, it's actually a 12 mil. I looked it up, it's a 12 mil. I looked it up, and in my stroke of genius, I was like, let me just get a 12 mil bolt, right? Put that in there. And so what I did was I welded, can you see that? I welded a nut on the back of the 12 mil so I could put a socket on it and use it. And I snapped it 2 different times trying to get it out. Finally did some more research. This is a reverse thread because the fork actually threads on from the other side. And as soon as I started doing it the right direction, it threaded right off. And so I'm gonna pop this off real quick and get this out. Okay, clutch is out, and dang, this thing has gotten hot. I don't know who's driving this, but definitely got hot quite a bit of times. Definitely got hot here too. See all the heat marks. The clutch has a little bit of life left in it, but it's not gonna hold the power I need anyway. So it's getting replaced. So this can get junked. Bell housing, obviously we got that off. It looks good. It is magnesium. I don't know if that's stock or not. I'm guessing it is, but that's kind of cool. And then transmission's out. I think this is where we're gonna leave it for today. I have to take off for a week out of town, and so we got some pretty good progress on this. We know what parts we need to get ordered for the 6-speed swap, and next it's gonna be going in my baby right there. Paint also coming soon for this too. That'll be a lot of fun, but now we know I'm gonna need to get a plate and everything, flywheel. So, but other than that, she looks pretty good. Transmission, I mean, I felt the transmission, rode it through the gears a couple of times when I got to barely drive it because the motor was so bad. But actually, the motor's great. Don't get me wrong. It's the tune or the fueling or something. I don't know. Injector stuck wide open. I don't know. Something's going on. Runaway rich. But yeah. So I think this is where we're going to leave it today. Hopefully we have a video out next couple of weeks on it going in this car. Very excited for that. I need to get some more parts on the way, and then we got a lot more stuff coming. I'll have a video out soon too of kind of the history behind my main car and everything I've done to that, and all the plans for the future for that, and maybe the plans for this car too. I want this to be my go fast car, I think. I'd like to keep this one pretty streetable, fun, nothing too crazy, kind of where it is now. So it's quick, but I mean, I got big plans. So hopefully you enjoyed, and stay safe. Yesterday I got the final piece, or at least I think the final piece. I guess we'll find out. We got Carolina Clutches stage 3 C4 clutch. We are going to be throwing this bad boy in there. It says it's good to 550 wheel, I believe, and so we'll see. But this is the last piece, so we have everything here now. I kind of already have this car on the lift. Let's pull this up and start ripping the transmission out of it. I've done this probably 4 times. I should have it out within an hour, so let's do that. Okay, as you saw, transmission's out. I am a mess. I mean, this thing just leaked trans fluid everywhere. I must have had it a little overfilled. So anyway, transmission is out. We are down to, I have not taken the rear end out yet. That's gonna stay in for a little bit, but we are down to just our flywheel. And it took me about an hour and a half. I forgot, full exhaust now. I gotta take that off. Ran into a few issues like the kickdown cable and stuff like that, but other than that, we're good. I'm gonna go ahead and pop this off, and then we have to go ahead and resurface our flywheel we're putting on here. Oh, got a little scratch on that. Anyway, and we should be good to go. Resurface the flywheel, put it on, and this new transmission should be ready to go in. Over here with our stage 3 clutch, I'm gonna reuse this flywheel. Now, everyone said, don't reuse that flywheel, it looks horrible. It's actually smooth. Yes, it has a bunch of heat works on it, but we are gonna take care of that. So all you need is some, 220, 250, 270 grit sandpaper and a random orbital, and you just go around and around and around and around and around and around and around until it fixes itself. It's not gonna look perfect, no, but it's gonna be okay. I don't need this thing to be absolutely perfect. If I wanted it to be perfect, I would have bought the $500 billet flywheel. Don't need to do that, so it's gonna work just fine. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. I'll time lapse that and show you guys how much better you can make this look. Got my sander, 220 grit sandpaper, and I'll time lapse it around and around and around, and you'll slowly see it get better and better. Okay, after a bunch of passes of 80 grit, I went back over it with the 220 and put some vertical lines on the outside just to make sure it grips up good. Looking a lot better. This should do the job. I did this on another Corvette and it works just fine. So let's go ahead and put this in the car, and we're gonna have to do a lot of things to get this thing manual swapped, but one less thing. 75 foot-pounds, all torqued down. Next thing is spray everything off with brake clean. Make sure the surfaces are clean. Make sure you have no grease in there whatsoever, and let's start installing the clutch. Okay, now that we have the flywheel in the car, we need to prepare the actual clutch to go in the car. And the easiest way to do this is on the bench. So you see these fingers, they have, normal slot, and a wider slot. There's 3 wider slots, and your big bearing here is gonna go into there. And so what you need to do is put those 3 fingers in there and slide your keeper tab in there. And I'm gonna go ahead and do this. I can't do it while filming, but show you what it looks like. And just like that, you have this bearing. It is still gonna be a little loose, but it is attached. You see all 3 fingers, and this holds it in. And so once we have this, what we're gonna do is brake clean the whole surface on this side here. We need to make sure you see my fingerprints there, all that's gone. Take a clean rag, brake clean everything off, including this. Make sure everything's clean, brake clean the flywheel inside the car. And once we have all that brake cleaned, I'll show you how to install it. Okay, now that we have this whole assembly sitting on the car, we are going to take the bolts and slide them in. I'm putting blue thread locker on there. Whoa, that's a lot. Okay, doesn't need to be a whole ton, just enough to make sure the bolts aren't gonna back out, because if they back out, you're gonna have a very bad day. So go ahead and start getting those bolts in place. I like to start just by hand tightening them, just to make sure they're not being cross-threaded or anything. Can be somewhat of a tedious process, but just take your time and make sure you're doing it right. A little bit of blue thread locker, and go to the other side. So when we tighten this down, ouch. When we tighten this down, it is going to be in a pattern of, it's gonna be a star pattern, and it's gonna be 30 foot-pounds. So I'm gonna go ahead and get all this put on and tighten down. Okay, at this point, I started running into a few complications, and this is where the video gets a little bit choppy because I was not recording everything. Now, right in this box is the Carolina Clutch's Stage 3 clutch, and it is not in the car. and I'll show you why. Now right here is the pressure plate for the Carolina clutches, stage 3 clutch, and as you can see, it is very thick on this side of the clutch, and it was actually not able to clear the flywheel bolts, and it was not able to spin freely. It would hit the flywheel bolts. There's a little bit of nicks right there where I just kind of spun it over and it would like bounce over the bolts. So this actually will not work with the flywheel that I had and I didn't know. So I just went ahead and threw the original clutch out of the purple Corvette that is sitting right there in it. And it was not a stock clutch, but it wasn't like any sort of crazy upgraded clutch. I've ripped on it a little bit. It's kind of fun because I can like beat on the clutch and not really care. So this winter, this will be going in with a new billet flywheel once I can get around to getting all of that. I mean, it was really easy to pull the transmission, so it won't be that big of a deal to get everything out. And so once we get that done, this clutch will go in and we'll review this clutch. But let's jump back to a couple weeks ago when we were installing the rest of the stuff and cutting the hole. Okay, once we take a look under the car here, you see this bubble. This is where the shifter sat and where our shifter needs to go. And so we actually need to cut out this entire bubble here. And on the other car, I'll show you. So if we transition to underneath the purple car, you can see it has been cut out pretty crudely, but I mean, maybe this is what you have to do. You're never gonna see it, so it really doesn't matter. Cut out, and then there's this hole that you expose right here that we need to get to. So essentially, from this band to just behind this little piece right here, looks like it was plugged in a hole. Maybe it wasn't an auto car, I'm not 100% sure, but this seems like it was cut not by the factory. So we're gonna go ahead and cut all that out and make way for the new trans. Okay, the best tool for the job, I think, is gonna be one of these oscillating saws. Did the little test strip right there and it worked great. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut this whole thing out right here. Might not have to cut all the way down here, but we'll find out. I might have to cut down just a little bit, but we'll get all this cut out and then it should be good to go. Okay, and then inside the car, you gotta pop all the plastics out. I already have this one out. This one's about to come out. I just got a few more screws to pull out, the ones in here. And then I'll show you what you do once you get that, but we do have to pop the shift knob out to get this off. And then we'll take the shifter out and get ready to start cutting the hole. Next thing you have to do is pop the center button out. And I already did it, but because it takes 2 hands, but you just push your flathead in there and pop it out just like this. It'll pop right out. And then there's a little snap ring in there. I like to take a little pick and where's that? Get in there. I might need 2 hands for this, but get the snap ring off and then this whole thing will slide right out. Okay, next thing is pull that bolt and these 2 bolts right here. This whole shift linkage will come up and then you have to get these out of here. This is just some sort of pin, I believe. Pull that off, take the linkage out, and this linkage is gonna stay in the car because the car needs to think it's in park the whole time. And then this right here, hammer that ring out, this whole linkage will leave, and then you can pull the linkage out the bottom. But for now, let's get this shifter out of here and get this hole kind of exposed so we can start cutting. Well, it's been a couple days and I made a mistake. I went to cut the hole and I cut it way too big. That's the carpet. So I guess I should have stopped it here. That's fine. I'll just put a plate over this where I don't need the extra room. Just put a metal plate down, maybe riv nut it in, you know. It won't look great, but you'll never see it, so it doesn't matter. But I'm gonna go ahead and get the trans fit up in here and see if I can get everything else pretty close and maybe we'll have it fit. Okay, it's been a couple of days and as you see, we have a little bit of progress on some different things. I didn't originally think I was gonna swap the rear end yet, but I went ahead and decided, and on Instagram Live last night, we pulled the rear end out of this car, which is the Dana 44. We pulled the rear end out of this car, which is the Dana 36, and we swapped them. This rear end right here is the rear end out of the car out there. I already put my rear end in the other car. Took one evening, was not bad at all. So we're gonna go ahead and get this rear end lifted into the car, and that will allow us to put the 6-speed C-brace, everything in there. We'll have the Dana 44, the better gear ratio. We'll have everything we need in order to jam this thing back up in there. And we should be good to go. The last thing we need would be master cylinder. We have a brand new master cylinder, and put all that back together, and we're good to take it on a test rip at least. I don't know if it'll be today, but I'm gonna go ahead. It should take about 30, 45 minutes. Get this thing up in the car. Okay, so it's the next day again, and we have everything in except for this right here on the other. So it looks really good on this side. As you can see, on the other side, it's not lining up. I think it's backwards. I'm not sure how the other car got it backwards, but it appears to be backwards. So I just need to take it off, flip it around, and put it back on so I can put these bolts back through. And that's good to go. Everything else is in. In here, we have everything installed, C-brace, drive shaft, everything except for, I only have one bolt in the front, one bolt in the back for now, just to make sure everything's good to go. I'm gonna take it on a test drive, not like romp on it or anything. Let's go into the car. As you can see, shifter is in, looks great, rode through it a little bit. Last thing we need to do is grab the pedals out of this car. Unfortunately, it's gonna be impossible to film while I'm up under there, so I'm gonna go ahead and struggle to get these things out. I really can't find any videos on it, so I'm gonna struggle to get these things out, and then I'm gonna show you where the bolts are once I have the pedal out. And then we take that, I have a brand new master cylinder, and we're gonna have to drill holes and get everything mounted in the car, and then we can take it for a drive. So hopefully today is the test drive, get the exhaust and everything back on, and take her for a rip, but we're close. So inside the donor car here, as you can see, we have this entire dash pretty much just loose, and that is because we had to get to this main frame beam right here, and that is where everything is mounted to. And in order to get the whole brake pedal assembly out, you actually have to disconnect the beam, I'm pretty sure, which I was just not willing to do. That means you have to pull the steering column, pull the entire dash, pull everything out, all the wiring. It is just a nightmare. I was actually able to finagle this out. So now that we have this out, I think I am gonna need the actual pedal at some point, but what you can do is just disconnect the lever arm in there. And so that's what we're gonna be doing. But let me show you exactly how to get this in here. Now it's near impossible to actually film up under the dash, but I went ahead and already pre-drilled the hole for the master cylinder. And there's actually some holes in here that I had run wires through. So not only did I have to drill these holes, but I had to unwire my entire Holley system, and I'm gonna have to rewire it because I had it running right where the master cylinder needed to go. But these are the hood lever latches. They're kind of in the way, but we got this drilled, and on the back side of this is where this pedal's gonna go. You need to finagle it all the way up in there, and there are mounting holes on, or there are mounting provisions on the beam on the automatic car, so you actually don't need to drill anything other than the firewall. Sorry, I haven't been filming this entire thing, but this car's been kicking my butt because I'm just having to redo all my old wiring, tearing down the dash to get in here. And so let me show you as far as I got here. It took me about an hour to get this clutch pedal to where it is, and if the camera will focus. And as you see right here, those are the two bolt holes that need the bolts to go through them. But unfortunately, those two bolt holes, there's one and the other is right here. So it is way off, and this thing does not want to move over. Like it is tight in there. And so I'm gonna have to keep finagling with this. But as soon as I get this over and get the bolts in it, I will be able to mount the master cylinder and mount it through the wall. We're close. I just need to get up in there and finagle it some more. I actually had to pull the pedal back out, and if you can see, oh boy, this is going to be tough. So you can see that I actually cut a lot of that rubber padding that was around out because it just was not fitting, and it uncovered this thing that shadow, the tip of my shadow is on right now, and that actually goes into the pedal, and I saw that in the other car, so I'm pretty sure this had to come out anyway. So I cut a pretty big section out, and I'm hoping this is enough. We'll go ahead and get the pedal up in here and see if this is enough. Okay, so jumping back to future me, as you might have seen in some of my Instagram posts and stuff like that, the stock brake pedal is actually still in this car, and I decided to do something a little bit different for the automatic car. So I'm not gonna lie, recording this whole thing was nearly impossible because I have to be literally upside down, my feet up in the well here, just working to try and get this pedal in, and there's no way I can record. And so I'm gonna do my best to explain it after the fact. Essentially, what you saw was I had to cut all that rubber out, and once you cut that rubber out, that clutch pedal will slide up in there and fit really nicely. There's a little bump out on the fiberglass firewall that there's a hole that it goes into the clutch pedal, and then it bolts into that metal beam that goes about right here across underneath the dash. And there is provisions in the automatic cars for that mounting. Now, on the brake pedal side of things, as we open this up, as you can see, I have the small brake pedal. I actually just measured out the size of the brake pedal in the other car, and I sawzalled it off. That was the easiest way to do it, and it works great. There is no differences in anything else except for the pedal size. And this worked great. So I literally sawzalled it off, put the rubber on, and it's on there. It's not going anywhere. So it looks great. I need to get a new rubber piece for this because this is worn out. But yeah, so that's how we took care of those. Let's jump back to the past. Okay, I spent the past couple of days just kind of finishing up the 6-speed swap. Not really finishing up, just kind of getting everything in the car good enough to take it for a test drive to make sure everything is working out. So let me go ahead and show you what I have. To be honest, the recording, I have not been staying on top of, and so I don't exactly remember where I left off, but obviously everything's in the car. We got a nice little shifter now. Looks way better than the Skull. I actually had to go back to the old master cylinder because it releases, or it puts out on the bottom. The other one put out on the top, and I couldn't get the clutch line long enough to get down to the throttle bearing. So we're on the old cylinder for now. I haven't really finished up any of the wiring yet because I want to make sure it's right again before I really loom it and get all that done. This thing is kind of sitting pretty high. I would like to get some, oh, it's not too bad. I need to get some lowering bolts still. I didn't do that on my other rear end either. So we do have the Dana 444 in. I went ahead and upgraded the fuel system, or not upgraded, but I just cleaned up the fuel system. I need to put this wheel well back in, but as you see, we have our fuel filter mounted right there. And yeah, so let's give this thing a start and see if she'll drive. Okay, first start with this trans. I actually did have to put that old clutch in, so I don't know if it's gonna make any noises because I didn't check to see if it was still balanced or anything, so I guess we'll find that out. And then also the donor car had a weird throwout bearing noise, so hopefully I fixed that on the install, but I guess we'll find out. Clutch in, Holly system and everything on. Okay, valve should be open too, so. Yep, no start. What if I put the brake on? Nope, okay, we got something here. Okay, so you guys are kind of troubleshooting with me. I realized that I totally forgot to bypass the park neutral safety switch when I did this swap, and so what you actually have to do, I kind of looked it up, couldn't find any conclusive answers, so I just started jumping wires till it worked. You just have to jump this yellow wire with the green wire on the outside here. So we had no crank. Now we do this. Get in there. Okay, hang on. Now we do, okay. Anyway, now you basically just jumper these and I'll cut them and just hardwire them together eventually. But now, car cranks. It's not gonna start on Holly system 1, but that's how you do it. Okay, car should crank. Let's see if this thing is gonna work. Start it up. One of the valves is hung closed. We'll just close it for now. Okay, underneath the car, last thing that I want to do is change the trans fluid in this. And from what I have read, the absolute best stuff is this AMSOIL synchro mesh. It takes 2.2 quarts, so 3 quarts of the stuff. It's not super cheap. It's gonna be about 75 bucks shipped to you. And then the last thing you need, I would get a pump, fluid pump too. They're like 10 bucks, but a 17 millimeter hex head here. Where's it at? 17, I don't know if you can read that. 17 millimeter. And that is what is going to allow you to get up into here and take this out. Now this is super tight normally, so I don't know if I'll be able to do it. Oh, nice, came right out. Okay, that's good. So we're gonna pull this out, and then we're gonna pull the bottom one. I don't know why somebody did this to the bottom one on this trans, so we're gonna have to figure out a pipe wrench situation, but we'll get this out, drained, and then put the synchro mesh in. Okay, luckily both my plugs came out just fine. The oil looked pretty decent. Didn't look bad at all. Looks like there might be just a little bit of material in it. I think most of this is from this pan was extremely dirty before I put the stuff in it. This is also the single worst smelling stuff in a car. It's horrid, but a little bit longer will be fine. This thing is way happier with this AMSOIL in there. The shifts go right in. The gear works great, and so this is definitely the oil that I'm gonna be rocking with, and this thing's gonna be a lot of fun to drive. Now all we gotta do is finish putting it back together, finish up some wiring, and we're good to go. Okay, and now that we are back to present day, let me show you some of the final touches that I did. I didn't record anything because it is kind of boring putting the interior back together, and I just did some final touches that took a little bit of tweaking and, you know, some like sewing and stuff like that, just to make my interior look nice. I do like having a pretty nice interior on this car, and so let me show you kind of what I did. So check it out. I actually just cut out the provision in the automatic plate because I didn't like having the 4+3 here because the other car had the 4+3 plate, not the 6-speed manual plate. I might upgrade this in the future, but I do like how clean it looks like this. Obviously it's a little dusty, you need to clean it off, but shift boot works well. This was literally a $10 shift boot off Amazon with another $10 shifter off Amazon with the right pattern on it. Worked pretty well. The collar was too big to fit because the ZF like the ZF shafts are huge, and so the collar would not fit on it, but it looks pretty good for now. Everything else came out really clean. The pedals look pretty good. I obviously need to still fab up the plate that goes here to block all the wires, because now in the automatic cars there isn't provision for the clutch pedal to go back and forth, so it does hit the clutch pedal. Have not done that yet, but I still want to wrap up a little bit of wiring before I do that. But yeah, this thing really came together. I have a few driving clips that are in vertical that I'll throw in right now, but this thing has been an absolute blast to drive.